And now with the latest business and market news, over to Jane Edwards.
Thanks, Alan. Some fairly tepid employment numbers on Friday kept a lid on the US share market, but Wall Street still managed to chalk up its biggest weekly gain in 2 months. The January payroll figures came in 100,000 below expectations, with just 36,000 jobs created during the month. But the US unemployment rate also dipped to 9% because of people dropping out of the search for work. It confirms the current belief among investors that the US economy is improving, but still needs a leg up from the central bank. On commodities markets, political unrest in Egypt is driving the oil price, which settled on Friday at $89 a barrel, while the prices of sugar, wheat, corn and pork jumped after the devastation of Cyclone Yasi in Australia and snowstorms across America's Midwest. Global food prices are now at record highs, according to the UN Food and Agriculture Organization. But all of that uncertainty didn't affect investors' appetite for stocks, with global share markets all posting robust weekly gains of 2 to 3%. Now with all our local news, here's Tom Elliot.
Well, as you just heard, the Australian share market rose strongly during the week. Not a bad effort when you consider all the terrible weather we've been having. Let's look at the insurance sector. IAG shares down just 2%, Suncorp Metway down only 1%, but the real surprise package was QBE. Its stock up 4% during the week. Now, it's partly because Cyclone Yasi will prove to be less destructive than originally feared, but also because QBE appears to be back on the path to growth. It's unveiled a US $700 million acquisition of an insurance company over there called Balboa. The market certainly liked it. Sticking to the Queensland theme, and shares in Queensland Rail, or QRN, were up 2% also during the week. Commodity prices continue to rise. Iron ore is up, coal is up, and this was much to the delight of BHP and Rio shareholders who saw their stocks rise. Interestingly, a new rich list that was published during the week said that West Australian iron ore heiress Gina Rinehart is now the richest person in Australia, worth almost $9 billion. Second place, Twiggy Forrest, also in iron ore, worth almost $6 billion. In the world of takeovers, Village decided to exit its long-running association with Austereo. It scoured the world looking for a buyer, found one in the locally listed Southern Cross Media. The takeover is worth between $2.05 and $2.15 a share, depending on the level of acceptances. As we know from Tuesday, the Reserve Bank decided to leave interest rates on hold. That was seen as good news for the banks, although, as we know, the bank's funding costs these days are largely set by international, not local markets. And finally, Tabcorp shares, they are up 5%. The company did report a better-than-expected first-half profit, but it also confirmed that its demerger process was well on track to be complete by 30 June 2011. Winner of the week is Atlas Iron, up a whopping 21% after upgrading its iron ore resource in Western Australia. Loser of the week, however, is Guns, down 11% after failing to find a buyer for its West Australian sawmill.